So what are the chances of ending up in divorce if you are married? Well, according to this graph, the divorce rate in the United States it has been dropping from the 1990 all the way to 2020. And there are people that are saying the 50% divorce rate is a myth. However, some people, internet influencer like Rollo Tomasi or Myron from Fresh and Fit, has been saying that, hey, marriage is not necessarily a good bet for men and men should not get married. And to their credit, what this graph is not showing is the increasing amount of people not getting married for the first time. And you can make an argument if there is less marriage, that's why there is less divorce. Now, the question is, should men get married? And my honest opinion in this situation is yes. Shocking, right? But wait, hold on to your horses. In this video, we're going to talk about marriage and wealth, 3 reasons why you should consider marriage, and 3 things you should know before getting married. Let's get into it. So I got this text last month saying that, hey, it would be a good idea to make a video about benefit of wedding. At what age should a man be thinking about marriage? You know, time of financial wealth versus marrying early. I think that's a great question and I wanted to make a video about it. So he sent this to me on a private chat, so that's why I'm not showing his name, but shout out to you. You know who you are. And if you guys want to reach me out for any comments or concerns, things I can guide you on, make sure you hit the like button. Also hit the link in the description for my Discord group. This is the best place to reach me at. And if you're new here, Wealth Engineering, we create content so that you can be the best version of yourself in all aspects of your life, starting with your wealth. We are definitely going to have a banger for you today. We're going to talk about wealth and marriage. Marriage is one of the biggest decisions you can take in your life, and also it can have a serious impact in your wealth. But hey, why am I saying that you should consider marriage despite the risk? Well, we'll get into that, but make sure you hit the like button first. First of all, let me say, hey, shout out to Rollo Tomasi and shout out to Myron from Fresh and Fit. I actually have a lot of respect for these guys, but we don't necessarily agree on the conclusion on marriage. For example, you can go on YouTube, type Rollo on marriage. You're going to have videos like this, why marriage is bad today. Rollo Tomasi is going to be his face there. Both guys say men are better together than they are apart. But why are they actually saying you should not consider marriage? Well, Myron says, hey, it's the biggest liability a man can have in their life. Whereas Rollo Tomasi is more nuanced in his response. He's basically saying that, hey, I'm a married man. I love the idea of a man and women together. However, in a current modern time, especially when you have the states, the law, the court out there, the laws for men are actually unfair. And in a divorce situation, alimony situation, the man is going to lose almost 99.9% of the time. So because of those risks, he would not recommend men to marry today. These are actually fair points, and I actually have no argument against that. And this is your point of view of why you should not get married. By all means, do it. What I am saying is another perspective. Myron always often say, hey, what if I tell you I'm going to put you in a parachute, dropping on a plane, and the parachute has a 50% chance of opening? Will you actually take the jump? Well, most people would not do that, right? However, what if you could reduce the risk of the parachute not working from 50%, maybe 10%, right? Also, what if that parachute opens and it helps you land in a pot of gold? And one person that understands this concept very well is Grant Cardone and Elena Cardone. They're both married couple, both internet financial influencers, and they're promoting marriage all the time. And they're a great example of a successful marriage that was very fruitful. And there's a lot we can learn from this. So why do rich men, despite the risk of losing half of their wealth, still take the risk of getting married? Why do successful men still making that mistake in a way? Well, maybe they know something that Myron is too young to understand, right? Me personally, I actually been married before. I've been married for 8 years. This is my wedding ring. 3 bands representing mind, body, and soul. I have 7 diamonds in each band representing 7 days of creation, 7 days of the week. You know, if you're married, it's 7 days of the week, right? And also understand I'm very spiritual. So it's about like 7 colors of the rainbows which match the colors of the chakras. And also, yeah, I'm deep like that. Man, I'm spiritual. And I believe there is a sacred bond between a man and women, and I believe in marriage. And despite me being in a process of divorcing right now, I'm currently separated, living alone, I'm still looking forward for my next marriage, right? I never thought I would be in this situation, but this is where I'm at, and I'm moving forward toward it. So I am a big proponent of not necessarily marriage, but definitely having one woman and building something big with that. What are 3 reasons why men should consider marriage? Well, first is legacy. In fact, this is the number 1 reason, and if the answer is no, then you don't even looking at the other option. The most important reason why a man should get married is legacy. And that means having kids. If you're a man and you definitely know you want kids, you want legacy for whatever you're building. If you want to build your wealth, engineer your wealth, and you want to pass this along to your kids, to your legacy, then definitely this is number 1 reason. In fact, there is an innate nature in men that wants to create legacy, wants to nurture and mentor the next generation to make the best. And being a father makes you a better man. This is one of the easiest way for a man to feel fulfilled, right? And that's another question I'm going to ask for Myron and Rollo is, do they believe men can be fulfilled if they're not married? If you put 100 men out there and all of them are single, how many would consider marriage as a route to fulfillment, right? There is something about raising a family that brings a man closer to fulfillment. And a large part of that is legacy, building something that you can pass along, kind of like keeping your last name alive. This is something deeply innate in a man. And this is number 1 reason why you should get married, because having kids, having parents, the best chance for successful parenthood is having a 2-parent household, right? You want a man and a woman. You want a father and a mom in the same house together. And that is the number 1 reason why. Now, if you do not want to have children, then marriage is not for you. Don't even look into it further. Do not marry for any other reasons, because at this point, yes, it is not worth the risk. And this is where I agree with Rollo and Myron. But if you want children, definitely get married. This is the number 1 reason why. And legacy can be a powerful force that motivates you to be the best version of yourself. Number 2 reason why you should consider marriage is focus. Now, think about this, guys. Now, what other playboys are doing, right? Myron talks about having a rotation. Rollo Tomasi talk about speeding plates, right? All this type of women all over the place. Well, what is that going to do? You're going to have your focus spread all over the place in 10, 15, 20 women at the same time, having conversation with them every single day. How do I know this? Because that was me a couple months ago. Guys, I was dating over 20, 25 different women, man. Crazy. My body counts got higher. My body counts, raising up my body counts. But man, it takes so much mental energy to be managing all these women. And it just got bored after the 5th one, right? I mean, it just feels the same. I mean, they might look different on the outside, but pussy is just pussy. And then it just takes so much work. Now imagine you're putting all that energy, all that focus, all that drive into building your empire. What would that do for you in the future, right? That would get you more women without doing less work, right? So being married kind of like in a way help you being focused on what matters the most, right? If you want pussy, you have it there. Your wife is gonna be giving it to you, right? But at least it's focus your attention into you, your family, your legacy, and not being spreading it out there, putting that mental energy in many different women. That's not going to help you build your empire better, right? It's better to be working with one woman that understands your visions, that helps you build your empire, as opposed to scatter your energy to 10, 20 different women that are not helping you build. In fact, that helps you waste your money, right? You're wasting that money for the sake of what? Physical pleasure, maybe your ego boost, what else, right? So focus definitely helps you. And one way to channel that is marriage. By focusing on one woman, your family, you can focus on your bigger goals. And the 3rd reason why you should consider marriage is inspiration. Now, Myron often say, hey, man, if you need a woman to inspire you, then you're pussy. You're weak, right? I actually disagree with that. And I understand where Myron is coming from. You should have your own innate source of energy, right? For inspiration, you don't necessarily need a woman for inspiration. However, there is no greater source of inspiration than pure feminine energy. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I have experienced me trying to generate my own inspiration from me versus being inspired by other people, and there is nothing that reached me better than a woman that has a deep connection with, that can inspire me the right way to do greatness, right? When you try to do things for others, this is a different types of energy that can, a very powerful energy that can help you create things. I'm going to show you an example of exactly what I'm saying. Grant Cardone, what is he known for? 10X, Mr. 10X everything, right? Private jet, private helicopters, right? But little do people know, Elena Cardone is the reason why Grant Cardone is so powerful, is the reason why Grant Cardone has this philosophy on 10X. She was the inspiration for all that.
And I just had your husband Grant in here, and he said, there is no Cardone empire without you. Like this, it doesn't exist. And yet in this book, you say, I know what I need to do to make it function, and it's very different than what Grant does.
So going back to what Myron was saying, right? Why did Grant Cardone needed his wife to generate the Cardone empire, right? Why did he needed that? Well, that's what I'm saying. That maybe he had a vision to be a millionaire, but thanks to a wife inspired to do greatness. And if you listen to this interview, how his wife inspired him to do great, it wasn't necessarily for him. It wasn't necessarily for his legacy or family. It was for other people, right? She was focusing on a bigger picture, on his purpose, and help him shape and build that purpose. And she talks a lot about being the queen of an empire. She understands very clearly what being a queen means. I have another footage for you to make you understand what I'm trying to say here.
It's powerful stuff. You know, I was reading this book and I was thinking, wow, we all need a woman like Elena Cardone, but not all of us want to be told that stuff. And I don't think all of us can handle that. To be said, hey, you better get us out of this. Now get in that office and fix it. Or isn't it time you become a billionaire? You know?
Yeah, I know.
That's a relationship some men aren't willing to have.
I know.
You must have seen it out there. Even Grant said, yeah, you know, when you said it, it hurt him. Warren Buffett could have said, when you're going to be a billionaire, he'd be like, yeah, I'm getting around to it. But when you say it, it cuts.
Oh, when I said it, oh my God, it was horrible. I got read the riot act. When are you ever going to be happy? When are you ever going to be satisfied? You know, I'm out there working, you don't do anything. I got and you know.
By the way, guys, I'm going to have the link of this interview in the description. Make sure you check it out. This is one of my favorite interviews. I listen to it a lot of time. This is like training set videos for my future wife, right? My wife needs to understand everything discussed in this video right here. But hey, there's a couple things you want to say about. First, remember what this guy said, right? I forgot his name. London Will, the guy from London Will. He said basically, hey, we all need a woman like Elena Cardone. He gets it. Right? This is what I'm saying that Myron doesn't get yet. And I believe it's because Myron is too young. I believe Myron hasn't experienced a long-term relationship yet with a woman that can get them an extra source of inspiration. He hasn't experienced that yet. That's why he doesn't know it. That's why he's saying, man, you don't need a woman for inspiration. I disagree. You don't necessarily have to have a woman, but trust me, man, when you have a woman like that, that understands, that can inspire, that can get you in the deepest soul to bring something out of you that you wouldn't have done yourself, it is much better. And he gets it, right? Trust me, throughout this whole interview, you could see his eyes like he was marveling at the type of woman that Elena Cardone is. And she's the perfect representation to me of a modern, pure feminine woman that understands the power of the divine femininity, right? That's basically what I'm saying. And this is what a wife can do for you, right? Hey, am I saying you should have side chicks? I don't know. Am I saying when you get a top G, like you're not going to have plenty of women out there? I don't know. What I am saying is at the current moment, if you're watching this video, you are not a top G, right? You're barely living paycheck to paycheck, or maybe your things are just sort of working right, but you're not at the maximum level that you can be. You cannot necessarily afford 3, 4, 5 women at the same time right now, being a sugar daddy for all of them, right? So, hey, why not instead being focused on one woman, right? Build with her, build a legacy with her. And later, hey, maybe you can have a different arrangement. That can discuss later, and maybe that's where a prenup will be beneficial. Hey, shout out to the lead attorney. And again, his first emotion when she was saying that was, hey, it was all mad, right? But after he reflected it, and then he came back to his wife with a solution and a strategy to build an empire, which is not Grant Cardone Empire, which is the 10X Empire. And look, now this is Mr. Jet, and look what Grant Cardone is doing online. And a lot of that is attributing it to his wife, right? So that's another reason why you should consider getting married, is inspiration, what a feminine woman can bring as an inspiration to you. Now, on that topic of feminine women, guys, I want to talk to you very quickly about a woman that I'm currently dating right now, right? Hey, do I know, am I going to marry this woman? Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot of things that she has to go through first. For example, you got to test your woman. Make sure that she's worthy of that last name. If you want me to make another video about that, make sure you hit the like button or tell me in the comment section. But hey, I was talking to this woman, right? I'm dating an African woman. I actually want to read what she was telling me. We were having this conversation yesterday. She's basically telling us African women, we have confidence in the power of our husband. This is what we were taught ever since we're young, right? This is what she's saying. I'm reading this from my phone, from a text. I don't want to show you her name and all that. And she wrote it in French, so I'm translating it in English. But hey, that's basically what she was taught, right? And that's another huge things to consider. Maybe your wife should not be in the Western societies, because Western societies women don't have this philosophy, right? The modern women, not a lot of them have that. Maybe your wife can be in South America, Vietnam, Asia, right? Africa, who knows? Me personally, I'm looking for feminine women. I don't mean a lot of them that are born here, raised here, but some of them on other countries are coming to this country, right? So you don't even have to go find them there. They're coming here. How we got to this conversation is because she was telling me about a cloth that the wife wear in her countries that is given by their husband. And the name of the cloth is called "My Husband is Capable." Right? So basically, any woman that is wearing this is received it as a gift from their husband. And basically, people usually, it's a cloth that is expensive in Africa. People usually make, if you wear this, people know that, man, it's like without saying it, it's like, man, my husband is capable, right? It's kind of a humble flex that you have a capable husband in your house taking care of you. And I thought that was wisdom incorporated in the culture itself. Whoever thought of this idea knew exactly how to play with men's ego, at the same time inspire them to do greatness, and using femininity to do that, right? That's a great thing to know, to do. And it's funny because my ex, I never thought of buying her a car. Never thought of doing that. I was actually trying to compete with her all the time, saying that I want to make sure I have a more expensive car than you. I'm the man. Like, I want to be the best. I'm competing with her, right? The minute she told me that, this African girl that I'm dating, this is the first time in my life I've ever considered of buying a car for a woman, a good-looking, a great-looking car. And exactly what I was visioning in my mind was putting that cloth as the interior of the car. Instead of the leather, you put that cloth in, like mixing the color and the culture in the inside of the car. I told her this idea. She's like, man, ever since she was motivating me to do it, like that inspired me to do it. Now I have more fuel, right? That's the middle table here. More fire in me to do that, right? Inspiration, guys. It's just great. It's good when you do it just for yourself. I want to drive car. I want to wear nice suits. I want to smoke cigars. I want a private jet. But hey, now I have an additional feel of doing it for the people that I love, doing it for my family, doing it for my country, etc. That's just a bigger strength of power. And marrying a woman can definitely channel all that energy in, right? Very quickly, we're going to go over 3 things you should consider before getting married. First is know yourself. Now, this is a good advice to have. This is something I wish I knew before I got married, right? I got married at 27. I proposed at 27, got married at 28. And I didn't really know myself until I was like 30, 31. And by the time I was 33, I actually knew a lot about myself. But the thing is, I got married before I truly knew myself. So my choice that I made before marriage would have been different after I knew myself. I would have adapted to a better way. So number one is know yourself. And I would definitely say, as a man, you should wait up until 33 before considering this marriage. This is one of my biggest regrets, guys, because ever since I was young, and intuitively, I just knew about that, right? That's when Jesus got baptized at 33, right? So that's a great number to keep in mind. And I was always saying that when I was young, but when I was 18, I met my ex, which turned out to be my wife at some point. Now she's my ex-wife. But I fall in love, and that's another good advice I have for you guys. Make sure you don't let love blind you from compatibility, right? There was red flags about compatibility all throughout our relationship, but I let love blind me from this. But hey, when you're getting older, right, you have your testosterone dropping, you have more time to be thinking, maybe the love phase is disappearing, you have more like to be logic about it. So make sure you know yourself, know your strengths, you know weakness, and also give yourself time to truly develop that manhood in you, that yourself in you, and choose wisely. Second thing is choose wisely. Choose a woman that can let you be fully in your strengths and also can be a value added. Her strength is your weakness, right? On top of that is when you're older, like 33, 35, you have more time to focus on your purpose and your vision, to formulate that, what it is for you to be a man. And that can help you choose a better woman to be by your sides as a partner, right? And the last phase is be financially stable. Finance is the number one reason why marriage end up in divorce, right? So the more time you give yourself to build your finances, the higher the chances of a successful marriage will be, right? Thank God for me, finance wasn't a huge part of my marriage. It had to do a lot with compatibility, and also my vision changed after I knew myself. She fell in love with the first person that I was in my 20s, not the person that I became at the 30s, right? So again, the more you give yourself to understand who you are and you choose the person that fall in love with your vision, not necessarily with who you are, because that will change, then that's another way of assuring that you can have a successful marriage and create something entirely great for you, your legacy, your family, and also for your country, your community, your purpose, right? With that said, guys, this is a video that I wanted to do a long time ago. Shout out again to my viewer who sent me this message. If you have more questions on this topic, things you want me to elaborate more, make sure you let me down in the comment section. Share this video because a lot more men needs to understand subjects like this. We're not being taught like this when we were young. If I knew this, there was a lot of mistakes that I wouldn't do, right? So share this video to as many people as possible and be the best version of yourself. We'll talk on the next video.
Hey, yeah, it's all about wealth engineering. Might be something that you're not used to. It's okay, cause I'm here to introduce you to concepts. Time to grow and make big moves.